Alrighty, everybody. Thank you those online and thank you guys in person for attending. Welcome back if you've been here before to the Vandal Career Workshop series. This is our second to last in the series. We got one more after this. I believe next week, we'll get to that in a second, but I believe next week I'll be giving another talk on salary negotiation. Very fun topic. But for today, I'll talk a little bit about career services, who we are, what we are, a brief overview. I will then dive right into the topic at hand, which is LinkedIn, how to go about building your profile, what are the various components of it. And then we'll go into how you can leverage that profile after what we've learned about what LinkedIn is, how we can go about employing our LinkedIn profiles. First and foremost, my name is Eric Chacho. I am a career consultant here at the University of Idaho. I am primarily a liaison for College of Engineering, College of Science, and College of Education, Health, and Human Sciences, but I interact with students all across campus. I've met with just about every major, I think, on this campus so far. So I've got quite a bit of experience in working with the ins and outs of the various fields that you guys are looking to get into. So Clayton has also joined me. He is a career consultant as well here at the university. You guys have probably seen us. If you haven't, come on up and see us. So real quickly, career services, our slogan here, your future is our mission. What that really means is, like a lot of the departments here at the University of Idaho, we are concerned with what happens to you while you spend your time here as a student. Should minimize one of those real quick. Your time here as a student, we are concerned about that. But even more so, unlike a lot of the departments, we really concern ourselves with where you guys go afterwards, after graduation. We want to know how we want to help you guys succeed. What we want to know is where you're headed so we can help you get there. That is really our mission. And it's a unique one among universities because the service that we provide is offered to you even as an alumni. Many universities don't extend that career service support structure to their alumni community. But as Vandals, going on to the future, you always have access to career services. And it's a free access. It's not something we charge for. I routinely work with alumni who are 5, 10, even 15 years out into their industries, into their fields, thinking, I don't want to do this anymore. Or I'm looking to have this salary negotiation with my boss, or I'm looking to shift into a new position. I need to brush up on my interview skills. So keep that in mind, that the things we cover here today, what we talk about, we can always help out with you guys. And some of those things, primarily professional documents, resumes, cover letters, CVs, all those documents you need for applying to new positions, we can help with the strategies that make them extremely effective for showcasing your skill sets. Major in career exploration. If you're sitting out there thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do with my degree. I like my degree, but I don't know where I'm going to go with my degree. What can I even do with my degree? Does my degree help me get into the field that I want to get into, or is there something better I should focus on? We can help with that kind of exploration of what's out there and how to get into it. We can teach you strategies for job searching, internship searching, how to figure what's out there, but then how to apply for those jobs that are out there. We can help with graduate school applications. I've done grad school a couple of times. It is a bit of a long, hard slog, but I really enjoyed my time. And there are some tried and true methods for applying and getting into grad school programs that we can help you do. We can tailor those applications. Interview preparation. Who here's been in an interview before? Did you have fun in that interview?
Yeah.
There's always a couple of extroverts out there. Yeah, people are like, yeah, no, I like telling my stories. It was pretty enjoyable. Not everybody's in that position. I love that you enjoyed your interview. But even if you did enjoy it, even if you didn't enjoy it, you might have been thinking to yourself at the end of it, some of those questions were a bit weird. I'm not sure why they asked me that. Or what were they trying to really get at by talking about my weaknesses or my strengths or some of these situational questions? We can help with that. You're detecting probably a theme here about their strategies. Yes, with your career development, there are tried and true strategies to get jobs, to search for jobs, and certainly when you're in the interview, ways to make yourself stand out. Salary and benefit negotiations, networking, navigating LinkedIn, we'll do that today. and then also prep for the career fair. So all this is kind of that general career development field that we can help you guys out with. One way to find out about a lot of these resources here is on the website. We have a lot of online tools to help you with some of this career development here. Some tools that allow you to practice interview prep on your own time, some of the example resume and professional documents. That QR code should take you straight to our website. It is a valuable resource that contains a lot of the information that you guys are probably looking for. If you want to connect with us one-on-one, I strongly recommend Handshake. You guys on Handshake? Excellent. This is the #1 place as a Vandal to search for jobs in the first place. You can kind of treat Handshake like a more college version of LinkedIn. Everything we talk about today can be applied to Handshake as well. The networking, the profile building, the searching of industries and communities, opportunities. It can all be done through Handshake. Handshake is really cool. Like I said, it is more catered and geared towards college students and recent graduates. It is also the way to connect with us, as I said before. It is linked directly to our calendars. So if you want to make an appointment one-on-one to cover anything, go to that Career Center tab in Handshake. There's an appointments booking section. You can book an appointment with me or any of the career consultants that you would like. Real quick, we'll have one more career workshop coming on up here. It will be the salary and benefit negotiation on March 4th. Definitely recommend you guys attend that one. Sneak preview, does anyone know when the best time to have a salary negotiation or benefit negotiation is? Does anybody want to take a guess?
Doing the interview?
Close. It is very early on. It's going to be after you get that initial job offer. But yeah, it's not after you've gotten into the job. It's not 2 years down. It's not after your 6-month performance eval. The best opportunity is when you get that initial job offer. That's when you have a lot of leverage coming into that negotiation. So yeah, not during the interview, but ideally after you've gotten that job offer, right after it, that's when you should have that conversation. So it is something you do want to be thinking about while you're going into that interview, while you're applying to a position. It is definitely something you want to be thinking about. So come on up to our workshop there on salary negotiations. We can talk about strategies for doing what I like to say, which is making thousands of dollars in just a few minutes of conversation there. All right, so let's dive into our workshop today. LinkedIn profile building is that first little section we'll cover. Essentially how to go about building an effective profile. To begin with, and online, feel free to chime in too. We always love your guys' participation. Who here has used LinkedIn? All right, okay. Somebody want to tell me what is LinkedIn then? Non-rhetorical question, in your own words. What's LinkedIn?
Just a professional networking site.
I like that. Professional networking site. Excellent. Any other kind of like ideas? How else might we kind of encapsulate LinkedIn? Online, any ideas? That's all right. We won't put you on the spot there online. But I think that's a pretty good one, a professional networking site. LinkedIn, yes, it is the #1 social networking platform when it comes to the working world, when it comes to the professional world. So just like Instagram, just like Twitter, just like Snapchat, I don't know if that one's used as much anymore, but TikTok, things like that. It is a networking platform. It is a social media platform, but this one is primarily geared towards the working world, towards the professional world. It is a way to make valuable connections in your field, one of those big primary reasons for networking. It is a way to stay connected with the community that you formed here. So if you've made any connections in real life at a conference or an internship that you've had, a job that you previously worked at, a great way to stay in touch is through LinkedIn. And it's a great way to stay informed about your field. Aside from looking for job postings, what's new? What is kind of changing the industry that you're looking to get into? What is kind of transforming? What's the new method or technique that's coming on down the line? A lot of that information is often found and promoted through LinkedIn. So you can really think of it as almost like a news service that can be tailored to your specific job or industry. So LinkedIn, how is it used? Well, just exactly what I was talking about for those primarily primary reasons. The number one way with which it's engaged is that content sharing, just like Facebook, just like Instagram, content sharing in terms of posts. These are both written posts, but also links that are thrown up there, videos, graphics, images, people talking about white papers and really interesting research articles about a field, an industry that's occurring, or a trend that's occurring in an industry. Content sharing is the number one way in which people are using LinkedIn to network. So messaging people that you have connections with, forming those connections, engaging in discussions in industry, in various groups that you're a part of. Job searching. This is a huge one. If you guys are already job searching on Handshake, you can do that on LinkedIn as well. It's a very powerful tool. Unlike Handshake, which is again more geared towards those college level, entry level positions, Handshake is going to make you become a little fish in a very big pond. There's going to be a lot of postings out there. There's going to be a lot of opportunities advertised on LinkedIn. Learning and development. It is very common for working groups, professional associations that you might be a part of here, groups on LinkedIn, companies themselves. They'll put up all sorts of courses. LinkedIn itself has courses that are up there where you can develop skills. You can learn new skill sets. You can learn about new things that you'd like to incorporate into your kind of professional experience there. Advertising and marketing, stepping away from maybe the individual to individual, but more that business to business marketing is very popular on LinkedIn. Businesses advertising directly their services to other businesses. So moving on to how we're using it and straight into setting up that profile. It's pretty easy to go about creating that profile, just log in. If you guys haven't done so before, logging into LinkedIn, the first thing it's going to ask you is if you want to sign up. And if you've already signed up, you'll be presented with a lot of fill this out, fill this out. You can kind of skip through a lot of kind of filling out those sections. Just get your LinkedIn profile established, and then we can kind of come back and start working through. Don't get overwhelmed feeling like you have to fill in every single section right off the bat. Just get your profile established. But one of the first things you're going to see after you've established your profile is this header. That initially there will probably just be a blank space right here for the profile picture, but the header is the first thing you're going to encounter. And what I want you guys to focus on with your header right away is creating an informative title. Obviously, your name is going to be up there, but you'll see the section underneath Jen's name. Jen, what is it? Jen is a former associate director here at Career Services. She has a fantastic LinkedIn profile, so I like to use hers as an example. But underneath her name, you'll see that there's this really informative title that speaks to who she is and what she was doing. At the time, like I said, she was an associate director. So if I read that title, Associate Director for Career Advising Services, helping people talk about how awesome they are and look good in PDF format. Kind of gives a broad stroke overview of who she is and what she was doing in a professional capacity. That's what that nice informative title line can be for and how it can advertise you. Things to maybe not do and things to maybe do with that informative title line right there. You guys are all students at the University of Idaho, and we could just put student at UI. Okay, but we can be more descriptive, right? You all have different majors, civil engineering, PGM. What's your major?
Pre-health.
Pre-health, okay.
Environmental science.
Environmental science, yeah, you could be an environmental science student. Pre-health at University of Idaho. And then maybe, again, have that small little informative line focused on bringing, healthcare to rural communities, or focused on what would you like to do with environmental science? There's a lot to do there. Yeah, maybe something like the environmental consulting, or focus on helping engineering companies make informed environmental decisions. Something like that. Something that speaks to your goals or who you are, what it is about you. For now, this is most likely just going to be what you're focused on studying. It's going to be maybe a little bit more forward reflecting because you guys aren't in those professional jobs just yet. But this will certainly help people viewing your profile figure out, who are you? This is that elevator pitch that you're working on. This is that elevator pitch of, where am I headed? But the point there is that we can personalize it. So other ways to personalize our profile is certainly right away with our profile and background. get yourself a nice picture. Don't just leave that default banner and picture that's up there. People are going to look at your profile and go, is this guy real? Is that a robot? Is this just like a bot that's on the web? Is this even a real person? Go ahead and put up a profile picture of yourself. Even put up a background picture of yourself. Some great examples might be some profiles like this. Ideally, a recent picture. So LinkedIn will interplay with the real world. We have a merging of these two. We are going to be referring people in the real world to our LinkedIn profiles and vice versa. We'll meet them at conferences and all sorts of places. And so that picture should be up to date. It should match who we are and who we look like. Wear what you would like to wear to work. This is an industry dependent thing. When we talk about professionalism, what is professional in one industry might be totally different than the other. So that's going to be up to you to think about and focus on. But certainly wear what you would have as professional attire in your industry, or what you would consider to be professional attire. And you can have a background that really, again, reinforces your connection to your industry. You can have a background that says something about you. For example, Carrie here, she is a graphic designer, and so that's some of her work. She's kind of advertising her capability. She's advertising her passion, her connection to that industry. Same thing with Kinsey here. Now, both Kinsey and Bethany, people who work here at UI, their pictures might be a little too small. I might have brought their profile pic in a little bit closer on their face. Ideally, you want your face to take up more than half of that frame. This is going to be a small picture on any device that it's viewed upon, so keep that in mind. If it's just a full body picture of you standing next to something, someone might not be able to see your face. And think about what LinkedIn's going to be used for. If you're during a conference or you're meeting someone in real life, they would like to put a face to a name. So the background of your profile picture being neutral, but it can be a little fun, it can be a little festive. We don't want anything kind of controversial or aggressive up there. We really want something that's going to connect us to our industry, or it's going to connect us in some way about us that personalizes us. Some good examples might be Nathan's here. He's an associate professor over there in engineering, and I believe that was a scanning electron microscope image of some of his work. So already showing his kind of work, his research that he does. Same thing with Annalise. She was a interior architecture student, showcasing some of her work there. It's another way to show off your skills and your abilities, show your passion and connection to an industry. And you can see that these profiles all of a sudden feel a lot more personable than just having a blank background or a blank profile picture. All of a sudden, I now have, oh, wow, that's a real person. Wow, I see that they really enjoy what it is that they do. And, they're practicing what it is that they do there. So real quick way to kind of enhance your profile. Another way to help enhance your profile can be to record you saying your name in your own voice, in your own language there. This can be very helpful if you're like me and you have a very confusing last name. People read my last name and they go, there are far too many C's and I's and weird letters in there. But I can simply record that and say Eric Chacho. And now people know how to pronounce my name. So when they meet me at a conference, or they meet me at a dinner, or they meet me at a seminar, a working group, they're going to know who I am, and they're going to know that introduction is going to be a little less awkward, right? So this is a really nifty feature that LinkedIn allows you to do in that header. Again, personalizing, adding that human touch to your profile. All things that I would recommend that you do when initially setting up your profile. And I want to go back here because I think it got, okay. We'll cover contact information in a second. Moving on down, one of the next most important sections in your LinkedIn profile will be this about section. This is something I want you guys to fill in. I see a lot of profiles, they don't always fill this in. Just like that informative title is going to be that one-line hook. Who am I? What am I? This about section, it's a little bit more of a summary. It's still going to be very brief, but it's going to dive in just a little bit more. So still using Jen's previous posting of who she was as a career consultant, as a director here. With 10 years in higher education, career services, I guide students and alumni to align their strengths and interests with meaningful careers. As that associate director, I led our team of career advisors and innovative programs focused on job market readiness and successful career transitions. That really kind of encapsulated what she was doing in that role. You'll notice there's only 3 lines of text here before I get to this more. This is how LinkedIn kind of abbreviates this section. Pay attention to this. I will see people put up a wall of text and this sentence will get cut off. It doesn't look as clean as if you put a space here. So if I click that more, we'll see that Jen has actually put a space here. She's isolated those first 3 lines to keep that nice and clean right there, and then has put a little bit more information in that about section. We're keeping it very brief. This is not a monologue. We're not putting a monograph here of everything we've ever done. This is just a really quick, you can think of this as your 30-second elevator pitch. Other things you might want to fill in below that line in that little more section when you click it. Any accomplishments that you've had, really unique highlights, things you want to bring attention to. Jen was named Idaho Leader in Career Development in 2020. It's a proud accomplishment. She wanted to put that up there. It reflected well on this professional job. Some top strengths, things that you would like to then elaborate later on in that experience section that we'll talk about. Adaptability, positivity, communication. And then I even like to put some of that outside of work stuff. This is that personalizing touch, especially in a day and age. AI is increasingly being used everywhere. It is becoming difficult to tell what is real, who is real, what profiles are actually people that are out there. That's where having that picture, that profile picture, that banner comes into play. That's where having, these are some of my outside of work hobbies. This is how I kind of engage with the world outside of what I do. It just says a little bit more about me, makes me a little bit more well-rounded, a little bit more human. It might seem kind of silly and out of the way, and you don't have to elaborate on this a lot, but it really can make the difference when someone's looking at your profile to go, all right, I feel a little bit more comfortable that this is a real person and I'm not just engaging with a bot at this point. And yes, there are bot profiles on LinkedIn. So this is the section I was looking for. Contact information, very important, right? If we have a nice, beautiful LinkedIn profile and we would like someone to then respond to that profile, engage with us, we got to have our up-to-date contact information. Just like our resumes, make sure you're using a nice, professional, clean-looking email that you're proud of up there. Your phone number can also go up here as well. You've got your LinkedIn profile in there. You can also include things like portfolio work. So if you have a GitHub page, civil engineering, anyone in the STEM field, anyone in the arts field, communications experience, any projects you're really proud of. If you have your own website, your own GitHub page, another place that you would like people to see your work, another place to showcase your work, you can include that here as a personal website, a way for someone to go to your LinkedIn profile and now learn even more about you, even learn more about some of the accomplishments and the projects that you've been a part of, that you've done on your own. That can also definitely go up there. It's not just for art majors. Don't think like, well, I don't need a portfolio. I'm an engineering major, or I'm an accounting major. Any large projects that you've been a part of can go up into a website like that. One thing I would also do to really, yes, yeah.
Was there ever a workshop on creating portfolios?
We have given them previously. We don't have one scheduled for this semester, but we do bring those back up on occasion. Yes. Yeah. If you are interested in kind of portfolio development, that's something that can be a perfectly good appointment with us. Going to the Handshake, and we can definitely talk about that.
Okay.
Because especially in this day and age, we're shifting into a skills-based economy now, where employers do want to see demonstrated use of your skills. It can be very important to say, look at this, here's what I've done. And having a portfolio where all that lives can be very helpful. Yeah. Another way to really kind of edit your profile, add that personal touch, change up your LinkedIn. Normally, when you build your LinkedIn profile, you guys have probably all seen this. I'm Eric Chacho -189 alpha ampersand, weird letters and numbers, a million things after my name. You can actually edit to get rid of a lot of that. It will start to search to make sure that no one else already has this title. If your name is not as unique as others, if you are just a John Smith, I love you. You're a unique, independent person. LinkedIn might already have that profile kind of taken away there. That being said, you can adjust that on your own. You can strip out some of those numbers and you can make it a little bit more unique. This is something that really helps you stand out, right? This is something that makes you feel a little bit less like a bot. It's unlikely that someone who has just kind of put out that profile and isn't really active with it is going to edit this. Someone who is active with their LinkedIn profile probably is going to edit this. This is one of those quick little things that I would recommend doing. And that's really easy to do in your profile settings. So let's move on into education. Just like on our resumes here, education is pretty big in section for us. But unlike our resumes, which are oftentimes just a snapshot of who we are and what we've done, the resumes, our LinkedIn profiles are living, breathing versions of our resumes. These are things that we can update constantly. These are things that can be much longer than our resumes, will be much longer than our resumes. We can have a lot more information live within them. So for example, within that education section, certainly where we went to school, where we went to university, what our degree was in, what our grade is, but also what are some of the activities that you participated in, those extracurriculars, any clubs, organizations you were a part of, any accomplishments you had, your minors that you were a part of, workshops that you attended. You can really flush out that education section to incorporate a lot of unique things about your educational experience. Remember, you guys are competing against a lot of people out there in the workforce. How are you going to stand apart? If this person has a major in clothing, textiles, and design, and so does someone else, how am I differentiating between these two? Oh, wow, this person was engaged in a lot of on-campus events. This is someone who might be a good team worker, a good collaborator. If I want to showcase that as a soft skill, as a collaborator, a team worker, and I'm seeing all these activities that they were a part of, that becomes much more believable. I now see demonstrated use of their collaborative skills, of their team working nature involved there. So education can be a lot more than just the degree that you're getting, but certainly fill out this section. This is one of those sections that's going to be important to have. Another very important section as we move on down in your LinkedIn profile will be your experiences. And just like our education, this can be a lot more fleshed out than a resume. Unlike a resume, we're going to be able to add some pictures here. We're going to be add hyperlinks here. We can even add short videos, accomplishments. So for example, if I was part of the Barker Capital, the management trading program here that we have at UI, I can have some images of some of the stuff that I was engaged with. Maybe some news articles that highlighted my particular part in a project that got some media attention. I can add a link there. And just like our resumes, I want you guys to be specific. Tell me what you were doing. Ask those investigative questions. Who, how, when, where, why? Who was I working with? How much money was I working with? You know, in this example here, what were some of the options that I was trading in? I can have dedicated skills just for this experience. This is where that keyword searching comes into play. Like I said, this is a living, breathing resume document. Companies are constantly scanning LinkedIn profiles. When they are looking to hire for new positions, they're not just posting jobs anymore. They are actively looking to recruit talent. And a lot of that recruitment can be done through LinkedIn. It is done through LinkedIn. A lot of it is automated nowadays. They are having algorithms search profiles for specific keywords that might match to a position that they're looking to hire for. So we're not just kind of spamming with buzzwords. You know, in this example right here, I'm putting in my skills, options. I'm going to talk about the types of options. I was trading options on equities, ETF positions. I'm being specific in my description, but I'm certainly putting those keywords here. So if someone is searching for a certain skill set, they're going to be able to pick up my profile. You know, financial analysis, financial modeling, investment management, being talked about and elaborated upon in the experience. There are a lot of sections with LinkedIn here. Fill out your profile as much as you can. The more it's filled out, the more it's going to, again, look like it wasn't just created by AI. It wasn't just created as a bot for just spamming the internet. This is going to be a living, breathing person who's actively engaged with it, who's actively looking to participate in their industry, in their professional community, really. So there's a lot of sections here. You can see there's accomplishments, skills sections, There's that about section. We have the education, any sort of additional information people want to know about us. When you are editing your profile picture, you can add some of these hashtags here that say you're open to hiring. I don't know if anybody here is in that position, but you guys might soon be in the position of open to work. This allows, again, like I was saying, companies are scanning these profiles for resumes for potential candidates. This is something those algorithms are trained to recognize. LinkedIn already has it as a built-in feature, something very simple. You might wonder, yeah, I'm not getting any sort of responses on my LinkedIn profile. Something as simple as, well, I've made it a little bit more open that I'm willing to work. I put that open to work hashtag in there. Algorithms are picking it up. I'm showing, what my background is. It's a little bit more personal. More keywords are now being included in my experience sections. All of a sudden, I'm getting messages from recruiters. With our skills section, you can fill out hard skills and soft skills just like you do on your resume. Here you can start to talk about some of those soft skills, but I would probably stick with the hard skills just like a resume. You can put them there, but what's really cool about LinkedIn's skills section is that people can actually endorse your skill sets. So this is why it's very important to network and build that community and maintain it, because people can look at your profile and they can go, oh yeah, Eric definitely has public speaking skills. I've worked with him previously. I'm going to endorse this. This adds a little bit of verification. Think about your references in a job application. This is like a live, constantly being updated reference list. Someone is verifying that you do have that. In this day of AI, in this day of the internet where things become so impersonal, we're not really sure what's real. This is becoming more and more relevant. So if we look at our page overall as a whole here, we obviously have some nice background pictures. We have a profile picture here. Some things to pay attention to on the right side of our LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn will all obviously or continuously be suggesting people that we might know in order to connect us with others. If I'm viewing someone that I am connected with, same thing. I'm now going to look at who else might I be able to form a connection with? Who are they a mutual connection through? How many connections does this person have? So if I'm looking at someone I'm connected with, here's how I'm connected with them. Here's how active they are. This is what an employer might be seeing when they're looking at your profile. They're going to be seeing, how active you are on this LinkedIn. Who might you be connected with? We always talk about references getting into jobs, right? Not the what you know, but the who you know. If a company is looking at your LinkedIn profile, and you betcha they are looking at your LinkedIn profile, if they see that you're connected with people in that company, oh wow, okay, so this guy, he's friends with some of the people who already work with us. He might be a good candidate to interview. This is someone whose resume we definitely might want to consider. This is someone who's already kind of connected with our people. He might be a good fit for our team. So this is another reason why those connections can be very, very important. Now that we've talked a little bit about how to set up your profile, let's talk about how to actually engage it and leverage it into the things that you really want, which is career advancement, career opportunities, right? First things first, you guys have a feed, just like you do with Instagram, just like you do with Facebook, just like you do with every other social media app. You have a feed here in LinkedIn. Engage with it. It is an algorithm, just like your YouTube algorithm. It can be trained. So follow organizations, industries, groups of interest. I guarantee you, for every single person here, there is a professional association. There is a professional group. Engage with them. These are the people who are most likely to be able to put you on to new job opportunities. These are the groups that are most likely to be posting job opportunities. Utilize that newsfeed to passively learn about your field, new methods, exciting developments that are happening, changes that are happening, to find out about opportunities. So when I was saying you guys are already using social media, you're already spending a few minutes a day, maybe more on Instagram or Facebook or any others, spend a few minutes a day on LinkedIn. Just get up to speed. What's new in my field? What has changed? Is anybody hiring? Is anything new and exciting going on? I can spend a few minutes. I don't have to endlessly doom scroll for the next hour going through LinkedIn. Obviously, I think social media wants to do that, but you don't have to do that. you can just spend a few minutes and get up to speed about what's new out there. So I mentioned tailoring your feed. It does have an algorithm, just like YouTube. You start watching certain videos, you start following certain channels, YouTube is going to respond to that. So does LinkedIn. LinkedIn will respond to what you are paying attention to, and it is very important to tailor that. So when you see a post up here, you see those three dots. You can click on those three dots. You can say like, or you can say dislike. You can just like a post. The more you engage with it, I like this, I don't like this, don't show me this, irrelevant, the more you're going to train that algorithm to put certain things in front of your face. You want it to bring job postings to you, or you want it to bring news that's relevant to your professional development to you. So as you're scrolling through your news feed, you don't have to do this constantly, but over time, your algorithm will become trained to recognize what you're interested in. And I highly recommend engaging with that. The more you put into LinkedIn, the more you're going to get out of it. So are you posting? Same thing. Share your own accomplishments, articles of interest, things that you come across elsewhere, post them on LinkedIn. Be an active member. Be someone that other people are paying attention to in your field or in your industry. This is part of networking. This is part of being an active community member in whatever field or industry that you're looking to be a part of. You don't have to post all the time. You don't have to post every single day, but the more you can, the better you're going to be able to engage with that LinkedIn, and the more you're going to be put in front of the faces of people that you want to make connections with. Yes.
Did you mention, I came in late, did you mention about because you're being actively involved with LinkedIn? What's your position on paid
On the paid version of LinkedIn,
versus the non-paid?
yeah, it's helpful for your business. It kind of just spams your profile and your posts into everyone else's faces. For now, I wouldn't recommend doing that paid profile. If you are engaged with it constantly every day on the top of your game, yes, then it very much can be worth it. But if you're not engaged with it every day, if you're not spending an hour on LinkedIn, this is what many PR people are doing. This is what many comms specialists are doing for companies, is they are managing the social media presence for an organization. There it can come in handy to have that premium version. They'll have to have a business version of it. If you're not that level of engagement, it might not, I would say it's probably not worth your money to go for that premium. And yes, they are pushing it. They'll give you that first month free. For now, I wouldn't say it's worth it. I would say get practice building up to a level where you are engaging with it on a daily basis.
Have been engaged on it.
Yes,
for a while
and
now.
and do you see people communicating with you through
Sean
it?
Corey, who you just had up there from Art and Architecture, I post stuff, she sends me things.
Yeah,
Professionals in the industry are sending me things.
and see that's happening maybe without even the premium status, or did
It
you get?
wasn't, what was happening prior, but I signed
Yeah.
up for premium because premium also has that a resume cover letter built into it.
Yes,
So when you're looking at certain employers, they give you ideas on how to build your resume as well.
yes,
Based
yeah,
on that and the algorithms, the words you choose and all
Yep.
of that. So that to me has been something I've noticed compared to when I didn't have that.
yes, yeah. It can be, but I would probably suggest too, you had to get to a level of usage with LinkedIn
Oh,
before
I
you really
have
saw that.
almost 1,000 followers.
Yeah, so before you even saw that kind of flip over, and that's where it can come into play. Right off the bat, if you're just getting it started, I wouldn't recommend it. You're not going to be able to get the full usage of a paid profile. For now, just get into the habit of using LinkedIn. Once you become like LinkedIn Pro and you're ready to take it to the next level, then you can start, moving up to that premium package, but it's not going to do all the work for you.
No.
You really got to put in that work. Yeah. But yeah, something as constantly engaging with people that you're meeting on LinkedIn. Celebrate their promotions. When people get new jobs, when people get a promotion, go ahead, reach out to them, connect with them, celebrate them, maintain those networking connections. Like I said, following appropriate groups there, staying in contact with those professional groups, and then connecting with people. When you meet somebody in real life, when you go to a conference, when you go to an event, and you formed a nice connection, you can exchange business cards, you can exchange numbers, you can stay in touch that way. LinkedIn is another great way to stay in touch. It is another great opportunity to connect with someone and then maintain a connection as well that you've already made, maybe at in real life situation there. You can start off right now with your community that you know, your classmates. College of Science did their networking event last semester for the career fair. They had a panel of 5 people, 5 industry professionals from environmental science world out to there was a mining company there. We got some biotechnology people there. They were asked, every single one of them was asked, how did you find your way into this current position? Student was very curious about that. 4 out of 5 of them answered from a classmate, from a former classmate. Someone I went to UI with, they were all Vandal alumni. Someone I went to UI with put me onto the job that I'm currently into now. They told me about it, right? They were a reference for me. This is why connecting with your classmates can be extremely important. You guys are going into the same industries in most cases. Yes, they can be your competition, but hey, they're also your friends, right? These are also people who are going to be able to help you, and you're going to be able to help them. So I would start right away with connecting with your classmates.
I recently wrote a paper which is getting published, but I recognized some of the alumni in my research. And I
Excellent.
dropped their name in my paper, which is going into a publication. So it's just promoting former people.
Yes.
Graduates from the program here. And those are future jobs for me.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it pays off right now, and it more than likely will not pay off in the next 6 months. These are investments. Think of this as planting a seed. You are investing in a community that's going to grow over time. In the next few years, you will start to see this pay off. You will have connections in other industries. You will have job opportunities coming on down the line because you've grown your community. One of the best places to start is with UI's LinkedIn profile. We have an alumni tab. You can already connect with those people. It's very easy. You already have something in common. You're Vandals. Once a Vandal, always a Vandal. We have a very strong alumni community here. They love connecting with current students. They love bringing those students on board into the companies that they're a part of. A big part of that is they know the quality of people. This is not just kind of, blowing smoke here. Like, they know the quality of people come out of the university here. They know they're working with good people. So they do like connecting. And you can connect through that alumni tab. You can also kind of reverse engineer your career this way. So if you're looking to get into a position down the road, think about that 5-year job. What does that 10-year job look like? It doesn't have to be the final position, but where would you like to be 5 years after graduation? I guarantee you there's already people in that line of work. That's how the economy works, right? There's already a company there. There's already people doing that job. A lot of times there's already Vandal alumni doing that job. These are people that you can just check out their profile. Oh, hey, I want to be a process engineer there at Micron. Well, how did they get into that career? How did they get into that job? Well, they did an internship at Micron. Okay, that turned out to be helpful. They did another internship with AgroPer. They got their degree in chemical engineering. Now I'm starting to see a roadmap of how someone got into a position that I would like to get into. I can connect with that person. I can pick their brains a little bit more on what they found to be helpful. All of this can be done through LinkedIn. One great way to connect with others, especially in real life, is through the QR code. So if you have the app on your phone, if you download the LinkedIn app, strongly encourage that. It makes interacting with LinkedIn very easy. There is an option to pull up a QR code that is your personal QR code. You can save it to your phone, if you're in an area where it's offline, or you can just pull up the LinkedIn app. My brother's in international business. He's overseas about once a month, twice a month. And he will tell me that, yeah, at this point in modern society, it's about 50-50 business cards or LinkedIn QR codes. You're either handing someone a business card. A lot of times that LinkedIn profile is already attached to it. So yes, this is extremely heavily in use. It is used widely. It is a way that people connect, just like the exchange of business cards at an event, at a conference, at maybe a career fair that everybody just went to, right? I can pull out my phone, they can scan my QR code. If I've had a very productive conversation and I want to stay in touch with that person, they can scan my QR code. I can scan theirs. I can form a contact that way. We can stay in connection that way. So this makes it very easy. I don't have to then go searching for them later on. They don't have to search for me. This makes it very simple and straightforward. This is where having that profile picture, you're seeing how all these elements are interlinked. Having that profile picture comes in handy because they're going to go, yep, that was definitely the person that I met. So at conferences, as I said before, what are some other areas? Where else might you guys connect with? Non-rhetorical question. Where might be a good place to connect to somebody and do that kind of QR code exchange? On Handshake? Well, maybe not like on the internet, maybe in real life. Where might be a good place in real life?
I used to sell homes for a living in real estate. So in my career as a realtor, we would have that on our phones. And
Yeah.
clients would come into our open houses and I would just say, here, scan that. And they would get all my contact information rather than me giving them a business.
So just day-to-day business, maybe. You know, you guys are already in jobs. You guys probably already have some part-time gigs that you're a part of, or maybe in internships that you're a part of. But in that day-to-day working experience, that day-to-day professional experience that you're already a part of. I think we have some comments in the chat here. Let me double check, see if anybody has thrown that out there. Just curious if anybody had some options there, but yeah, certainly in that day-to-day business experience, there are many places. Honestly, everyday life. If I'm playing basketball with somebody and they work in an industry, I work in an industry, maybe it's maybe it's the same industry, maybe it's a competitor, maybe it's someone that interacts with my company or it's a company I'd like to interact with. You know, we're kind of already in association with each other. We're both playing basketball. That's another great opportunity. If I'm at any sort of social event, if I'm at the bar, if I'm at anywhere where I'm interacting with people, really. When I gave this talk the other day, someone simply said, outside. Yeah, really, this is what this is for. If I'm outside, I'm in public, and I have a great conversation with somebody, and it's a professional conversation, I'd like to connect more with them. Great opportunity to stay in touch that way. I think real quick. Yeah, so we can also just kind of send that cold call invitation, right? This can be, you know, hi, so and so. I came across your LinkedIn profile. I was researching maybe, you know, people in this industry, in this field. I was really curious about something that you noticed. Maybe it's a job position that they had. Maybe it's a project that they were a part of. If I'm in environmental science and I'm looking to get into environmental consulting and I see a company that just did some really cool restoration work on an old mine site and I'd like to know more about that, I might write something like that. I'm wondering if you'd be willing to meet with me, you know, talk a little bit more. In the age of Zoom, this is super easy. You know, this doesn't just have to be an email, doesn't have to be a text. I got a Zoom call with somebody. I got a Zoom link. You guys all have Zoom links here at UI. If they're local, I would connect in person. Would you be willing to get some cup of coffee with me, you know, and kind of talk about this field? I'm really interested in getting into this line of work. I'm really interested in learning more about this industry or, you know, picking your brain on how you got into this. It's something that I'd like to do. A lot of people are very open to having those kinds of conversations. Seriously, don't think I'm, again, blowing smoke there. People are interested in having these kinds of conversations. Many times companies will incentivize their employees to bring on new talent, that talent acquisition. A lot of times there's financial incentives. If you bring someone into that company, you might get a bonus just for doing that. Companies want to actively recruit top talent. So they do incentivize their employees to go out there and recruit talent. This is something that is widely done across industries. So yes, people are willing to have those kinds of conversations. You don't start off right away with, hey, do you have a job? But it might just be something as simple as, I saw that you were part of this project. I'd like to learn more about that. It seemed really cool. So I'm gonna turn it over to you guys. I'm a little curious about some of the experiences you've had. People here have said they're on LinkedIn. If you're not using it, okay, you're not using it. Who's active with it? Who here maybe has met a really helpful professional connection through LinkedIn? Who here's ever maybe even gotten a job opportunity through LinkedIn? I'm kind of curious about some of your experiences with this platform, this industry that I'd like to get into. So that's all there we go. That's all I have for LinkedIn. How to go about building your profile, how to go about leveraging your profile, the uses, the benefits of it. Thank you guys very much for coming to the workshop here. I'm going to take any questions. I think we have some time real quick. Let me double check. Yep, we have a little bit of time.